Yeah, so we wear headphones because we like to hear ourselves talk.
Yeah. It's It's a very narcissistic thing for us to do.
We wear
you got to turn the volume off on our video. Remember how that was?
Shit, that's right. Wait, which one is on?
Otherwise, we hear it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
annoying.
there's that.
Annoying.
Yeah. We try to be all sneaky and like, oh, Corey and all that stuff, but we realized the soundboard was off. So the thought was there.
Fail.
Yeah. So that happened. What else? What was the other thing we were going to say right away? Oh, yeah, this show is pretty much the awesomest is what we were going to say. That's what we had. We had a long, lengthy discussion about it.
About how it's probably the best show on the internet.
Probably.
It's
probably with leaning towards alt-right.
But
Fuck the alt-right, by the way. That was a joke.
Yeah, it was. That was a real funny joke you just made there.
It was a chuckle.
It was a knee slap.
You ever had those chuckles and then you fart and you're in public? Yeah, it's kind of like that kind of concept.
I had a kid one time. I didn't have a kid, but I knew a kid. When I was in 7th grade, one of my buddies that I had met, his name is Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I probably haven't seen him in 15 years, but he fucking did the old sneeze fart in class one time, and that's
there's
like
that too. That's a thing.
Social suicide, like straight up. And it was during a test, so it was quiet, like no talking aloud kind of a thing. Dude, fucking
rip,
like like immediately right after. And so me being his boy, I was like, I heard it, but I was like, I'm not gonna say shit, right? Because I know like everyone would literally laugh on him.
And then he turned to you and he's all, Jamie.
No, I was across the way, like it was in that particular.
It was
classroom,
a breezeway.
They did the desks where there was like 3 rows, but they were facing the center with a walkway down the center.
Okay, yeah.
And dude, it was like one person was like. And then that set off the whole class. Fucking done. Everyone laughing at him.
Everyone was trying to be like responsible, and then they're just like, fuck it.
He turned fucking beet red. Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah, the other one is when you like sneeze sneeze, and then the snot bubble comes out.
Oh yeah. Oh sure.
Yeah, that's a thing, especially back in the old school days.
Dude, school kids are fucking
green gnarly bubble.
Yeah.
I've seen it like one of my friends I mean, I've had it happen to a degree, but I've seen like bubblegum status, like.
Or you get the hanger, the one that you're like, it just drips down like this far.
Now, when you're all grown up and shit, you just put one finger on the other nostril and shoot it right the fuck out.
Fucking
right?
snot rocket.
Yeah.
Snot
it's called being a fucking man. And disgusting.
Corey's like, I just wish everyone wanted freedom in this country.
Sure. Yeah, is that too much to ask for? Apparently, yes.
Yeah, had some conversations this weekend that were like, why are you so black and white about everything? And I'm like, I mean, You
should have been like, why are you racist?
Yeah. Why you got to bring colors into it?
Yeah, right.
We're talking about politics.
Yeah, no, the right and wrong thing and the black and white thing is totally like where the principles of like libertarians should be at. You know what I mean? Especially the ANCAPs. That's usually what it is that you have the libertarians come in and they're pretty much like they're the general, and I'm speaking generally for them. They usually come in with the just don't boss me, bro, stay out of my business, that kind of concept. But when you actually start really diving into it and you understand that what defines a libertarian is self-ownership, which is property, you being property and your own property, and then the non-aggression principle. And you can use those, along with voluntarism, and you can use, obviously, individualism and just property rights. But ultimately, it is basically property, owning yourself, self-ownership, and non-aggression principle. And that's what it is, And we were talking about that, too. It's like you can't say that you're a socialist and a libertarian. It's like people can argue that. I know people are going to get triggered, but being a libertarian means that you believe in self-ownership. So the collective is just out the window at that point.
I think so I'm going to agree with you. Big surprise, right? I think the convoluted part is that you could make an argument about anything.
Sure.
I'm a hot dog.
Yeah, but the difference is that now you're saying that, okay, I'm an anarcho-capitalist, but I also am a communist. Like that, you can't have both.
Right. Well, because the two are fundamentally different.
They're
from
opposed
each
to each other.
Yeah,
It's
right,
like the
right.
yin and the yang kind of symbols. Like you can't.
I'm a serial killer, but I also don't believe in harming people.
Right.
Like,
That's how
what?
much that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand that at all. I don't want to understand that at all. Like, how can you say that you're a libertarian? What they end up doing is most people will be like, it's kind of like the same concept. I'm a conservative, but I believe in like liberal social, like social, like gay rights, abortion, things like that. So on drugs and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they'll be, oh, okay, I'm a conservative, but I'm very liberal on that. Like you're confusing the two because we're talking about like a hardcore philosophy and ideology of self-ownership,
Right.
and non-aggression principle. And then you can't bring in I'm against those things like that. Socialism does not fit into self-ownership.
Right.
So therefore it can't exist. It's like, so you can argue that all you want, but it
Sure,
is what it
sure.
is, right?
Well, and I mean, so here's the thing. Here's the thing about fucking arguments on social media. There is probably somebody that can say that exact thing in such a way that would be like, oh, actually, maybe they can exist. But so you have to like
Do the legwork.
Yeah, you have to take everything out of it and like go back to what does that core philosophy actually mean, and then you can decide whether or not they can coexist together. But that's the thing is that's everyone just wants to fucking argue for the sake of
And we've
arguing.
talked about this on the actual podcast too. Is that like no one wants to be fucking wrong.
Right, it's
like,
a pride thing.
Yeah,
It
and
absolutely is.
I didn't like just come. I did not come to just anarcho-capitalism like that. It's actually we worked our way there, and so
Dude,
we were wrong our whole life until now, right?
That's the way I think.
Yeah,
and every day it just gets like you work on your philosophy a little bit every day. I think.
yeah, and you can still dive in and still read a bunch of stuff and learn from different schools of thought and ideologies and whatnot, and different philosophies, and then go, okay, well now it's challenging. The way I like to do it is I do it to read it to challenge what I believe, which is the best way to do it. But I'm like, okay, no, that can't exist because first off, why would anyone want to be controlled by a collective? That's not even fun, bro. Like, let's just keep it simple.
So,
like, why would anyone want to be controlled?
The only thing that I can think of that would justify that is laziness, or your inability to lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you don't want to make any decisions, then I can see collectivism being for you.
Right.
But if you want to be in charge of your own fate and your own life,
so I would say I totally agree with this. I would say half of it is laziness, but that doesn't apply to every person. Now I would say guilt, Jamie, guilt.
I'm hearing you.
You know what I mean? To the whole altruistic sense. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's where it comes from. I see the message board blowing up from Corey right now. I can't see what it says though.
He says, I don't know. Can't see why people really feel like they're either Republican or Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what I picked in high school when they made us choose.
Right. Yeah, isn't it funny how like, okay, I'm a Republican, therefore I have to agree with abortion's bad, all these things. Like, you line up and then the other party's completely opposed to that.
When you
that doesn't even make sense. You can't even think for yourself.
Right. No, that's exactly what it is. You pick a party and then you have a guy, and then you're just like, my guy is the best guy.
Right, and
or woman, whatever.
Exactly, yeah. But then, like, we say the same thing about anarcho-capitalist, right, or true libertarian society, or just even taking the society part out of it, just school of thought. Like, we can still do all the other things that everyone else wants in a free market society, right?
Yep.
So
without getting too far into it, because I want to save it for the show, is I think a lot of people, what you need to understand about this type of philosophy that we have is that if you are for like a type of a collectivist or a socialist society, like that's totally chill. Like fucking, you could have a society or a community or a compound or whatever where that is
city,
the government style.
State, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, fucking country. Who the fuck knows? But I just mean that everyone's like, oh, you just can't like have it be like the Wild West everywhere. And it's like, it wouldn't be.
There might be a place that's like that,
right?
But that doesn't guarantee that everyone's going to do that. Other people already have their preconceptions of like what things should be, so they're going to be attracted to each other, free market style,
right?
And they're all going to end up congregating in one area.
So many people are going to live voluntarily in areas that have government, And like the whole point is that like if you want to do that, fucking sweet. We're just here trying to say that we don't think that's how you should fucking live. That's all it is. Yeah. But I mean,
and if you don't agree, you don't agree.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But do what the fuck you want. It's all love, man. It's all love.
Yeah, and it just always devolves into the whole name calling and starting shit, and like just because this happens the most, I believe, they don't understand what you're saying because we're coming from a whole different perspective of shit, and it's like they're gonna argue with it, and it's like especially when they're on our page for our social media, our actual podcast,
Yeah.
They're arguing. I'm like, do you even watch the show? Because like if you watch the show, you'd even if you didn't agree with it, that's fine.
You'd at least know.
But you would
we're
understand what we're talking about. Yeah. Or just do the legwork. I feel like that they're just like self-ownership. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. I did look it up. How to debunk self-ownership, and then that's all they do. Because I hear the same arguments, and I'm like, no, those are wrong. Like every time, I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense.
You can. Under any school of thought, you can technically debunk anything if you really cared enough to go through and do the research to do it. But it's like we're not. I understand that like if you're trying to debunk a philosophy that I have that we talk about on this show, I understand that is a healthy like discussion. But there isn't a whole lot you can say to me, and I'm admitting this, that's going to change my mind because I've done enough work to get to where I am now.
Yep.
Mentally, as far as for what I believe in with this philosophy, that you're not gonna change my mind. Like literally, I said
this show is not for you. Then you know what
right?
I mean?
Yeah, and
or unless you just like seeing a bunch of idiots talk stupid shit. I mean, then that it is still for you, maybe.
Yeah. Corey says that place like the Wild West would sort itself out quickly. Yeah,
you're damn right it would.
You either wouldn't go there or you were fucking tough as nails.
And I don't know any. And this is the other thing too. Is that's the analogy? Just like how do we do? What about the roads? Is the one you always hear, or it's going to look like the Wild West. Those are the ones you always hear. First off, are you really going to tell me that you think that everyone's just going to devolve into this like Somalia scenario? You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe third world countries would do that if it was that. But then again, you're also talking about like that would be a form of collective where if we came in with our ideology and took over everything, it's still a collective in a sense, right?
Right.
So we know that's why like, oh, how come you guys don't vote? Because we're not trying to control you.
It's silly,
like, hello.
Right? Like I even said this, right? I was like, I pretty much want to live exactly how I live now, except I don't want the government stealing money
without
from
the
my
regulations
paycheck.
and the taxation.
I don't want to have a fucking driver's license.
Yeah.
I don't want fucking to register my car.
Right.
I don't want to have to get insurance for it. I don't want to fucking be
they're
forced
selling
to
your freedom back to you.
Yeah, well, so they take a freedom or a right from you and they sell it back to you in the form of a license. I'm against that whole fucking
don't
process.
take my property and then sell it back to me and then tell me you have freedom. I have freedom, I
want to fish wherever the fuck I want. You know what I mean? Unless it's like...
But then you're going to overfish the whole place. Like, really? Like, there's not going to be private fucking... If there's no government, like then there would be private people owning those things.
Yeah.
And they would have their own game warden type people.
Like, that's literally not already happening.
Yeah, how does it happen now, once again?
So, if you make fishing without a license legal, do you think any more people... You know what? If I really wanted to go fucking fishing, I would just fucking go.
People do it all the time.
I'm sure they do.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, you're saying that $14 is fucking stopping me from going fucking fishing illegally?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Big Gay Al from Alabama always goes out there and fishes with that. Oh, sorry, I called him out. But it's true, right? Like, anytime anyone goes, well, how would we do that? Well, how do we do it now? The only thing is, now there's not going to be a monopoly on force in a free market.
Yeah.
Now it's the individuals and private property owners that are going to end up doing that.
That's the fucking, like, that's the issue I have with a lot of people that want to argue against our school of thought here is, like, nobody's willing to try and come in and offer, like, well, hey, like, maybe we get to the next step this way. They always want to tell us why it won't work. Like it's ever been fucking tried before.
Right. Well, and here's the other thing. It's like we said it before in a few different shows, is that like, yeah, anarcho-capitalist or a true libertarian society has never been tried before. But then again...
But then we just sound like communists.
Yeah, but I mean, it's never been tried before, so we can't prove it, right? Like,
but Johnny, neither has democratic socialism.
Right. Exactly. But they're arguing as if it has, like, its background. You know, they'll be the same ones arguing that. Like, well, show me, point to a place. It's like, you point to a fucking place.
Yeah.
And then, this like one of the commies that he's literally a commie. He's telling me like, oh, in Spain there was this anarchist, whatever, and all this stuff. And I'm like, and I don't think he even realized that I got him. But I was like, so what happened to it? It didn't work.
Weird.
It didn't work. Like, end of story. So you're citing an example that failed.
Yeah. You're like, sorry about that.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't even matter. Like when someone tries to force you to like show like where did it exist or something like that, I'm like, what does it fucking matter? I'm going off purely what's right and wrong, and I'm not trying to control you, them, anyone, except for myself, and that's it.
Off of what we think is right and wrong.
Right.
So clearly not everybody thinks that way. Yeah. It's so Corey said it's like $50 for a fishing license. That's fucking rough, dude. But how long is that? Like it's like $14 or something like that for a day pass. I
think they have different versions of it too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think
like,
you can get it for like a year, quarterly, or some shit like that. Dude, it's been.
Yeah.
Fuck,
I got one for trouser snake.
Yeah.
They're amphibious.
Mine's unlicensed.
Right.
I haven't been fishing in fucking close to 20 years, probably, bro.
Yeah, I've been like so many times at a private lake around here, been offered to go, and I just don't do it.
Chase's spot.
Yep.
That's legit.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Chase if he's listening. Do we shout out to my boy Brandon who gave us the other half of our fucking green screen?
I think do it again, but I think we might have said it.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Big surprise. Yeah. But yeah, fucking Brandon, if you fucking made it this far, dude, thanks for the other half of our fucking green screen, bro. It looks really good.
It was nice of him.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that was voluntary.
It was a voluntary transaction.
Yeah.
It involved no third parties.
Yeah.
There was no government involvement, and I ended up with a product that I'm satisfied with.
Sure.
So there.
Yeah.
That's how that worked.
So
yeah. Like
freedom, bro.
Fuck yeah. Them freedom transactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, $50 he says yearly for a fishing license.
That's crazy.
The reason why I connected those two things is because my buddy Brandon, he's a fisher. He likes fishing.
He's a fisherman.
He's got a boat and all that shit. Pretty cool.
That's crazy, bro. Jesus was too.
He was, and then he had those really great water skis or whatever. He could walk on
water.
Yeah,
oh, dude, bro, that's some high tech shit.
You remember that picture of that boat accident where like the dude is like caught mid frame, like where it's like Jesus runs off the water or something? Yeah. Oh my god, that shit's hilarious.
Or that lizard that runs on water.
Oh yeah, that exists too. That's crazy.
But he was I think they made it sound more like he was standing on water, kind of.
Right.
Even though they said walked on water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in all the religious like adaptions of that I've seen, it was like he was like. You can't tell by the way. Like he was strutting across that thing. No
Jesus,
problem.
You're walking really slow on the water. Well, in my defense, it was a little muddy out there, and it was kind of getting up on. Yeah. All right. Well, enough of that blasphemy.
Bunch of assholes. No, Jesus Christ.
We got this ear pro. You want to talk about that real quick?
Oh yeah, the Howards. Yeah. So this is mine and Johnny's preferred hearing apparatus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it
protection.
Yeah, the ear protection.
Yeah.
We wear these when we go shooting. These are electronic hearing protection made by a company called Howard Light. These are the sport impacts. You pretty much see every YouTube shooter fucking using these things. I used to run just earplugs or whatever, or when I went to a range, I would just use the rentals, but it's really nice having your own. These are a lot smaller depth-wise as far as for like when you go to the range because they're not
they're not sticking out of your head like Princess Leia looking shit.
You got those fucking big old buns. They're more low profile. What they do is there are two microphones, one in each one, and it plays back the sound that they hear into your ear at amplified volume, so you get a heightened sense of what's around you. They're really trippy when you first get them. Like I remember putting them on like inside my house, and I'm like,
everyone trips out when they first use them.
I'm like, I can hear my feet on the floor. This is so weird.
Yeah, you could have them on, and you can hear someone like across your house.
Yeah,
it's pretty
like
badass.
Whispering. Yeah, they're really cool. So what it's for, you're gonna be like, Jamie, why would you want that if guns are loud.
But Jamie, why would you want that if guns are loud?
Well, Johnny, let me explain it to you. Anything above, I think it's 89 decibels, these microphones will hear, and they immediately turn themselves off, so the sound does not play through into the ears. So you can be firing a gun, and all of the gun pops are quiet, but then as soon as you stop shooting, they turn back on, so you can still yell commands. We can communicate. That's why they're really awesome, because like basically when you want to do like shooting and moving drills, it's really important to have something like this. So yeah, we're all yelling at each other anyway, but you can hear shit a lot better with these, as well as have your hearing be protected.
Yeah, and then you got a little bonus thing here. So a lot of us like to do, a lot of my friends, is you got this little jack on the back, and you can hook up, like, I guess you can hook, I haven't done it this way, but you can hook up an iPod and stuff like that to it.
Yeah.
But what I do is I actually hook up to that, and then I run it out to, like, my PA mic. So now I can talk there and still hear everything going through here and everything.
Right, and the radio only comes through your left ear, which is really cool. Corey, he says he just has earmuffs, basically. Yeah. Bro, like, buy some of these for sure.
This will change everything.
They're about $50 a pair. You can usually find them. I got mine on eBay, brand new. I got 2 pairs for $100 because me and one of my homies went halfers on it. But like fucking $100 free shipping. Yeah, okay. $100 free shipping. Probably that is it for sure. My most used piece of gear. Because I used to use those playing airsoft, and like again getting back into fucking airsoft. But the cool thing was when we used to play in indoor arenas, we have those sound grenades, the training grenades. They're called Thunderbees,
like a flashbang type thing.
Exactly. Depending on where you go to play, like they either have a radius of like effective kill, or sometimes they are just distraction devices because there's not a projectile coming out of it. Depends on where you go. But they are fucking loud. They're like as loud as an M80. And if you get one of those tossed into a room that you're in with no fucking doors or windows, like they are fucking loud. And those things actually would mute to fucking protect my ears from the Thunderbees. Like that's how loud they were.
That's pretty badass.
I'd be fucking yet, and then I just hear fucking boom, and it would just be all doom, 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 like fucking my gun. Like I wouldn't be able to hear my gun anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And then it just takes 2 AAAs, and you just take this little black panel off, and then you got that. It's only on one side of the apparatus is the word I was looking for.
Apparatus, indeed.
So, yeah, it's pretty affordable. It's pretty cheap. If you go on Amazon, you can even find them a lot of times in a double pack. So, I mean, I bought one set that way, and then I bought one by itself.
Corey says he's going to buy some for him and his wife.
Yeah, you will love it. And here's the thing. Watch, check this out. I can prove this one great thing. So, you got these old school,
the muffs,
nerdy ones, you know what I mean? And you could be like, you could get with this, or you could get with that. Or you could get with this, or you could get with that. Or you could get with this, or you could get with that. Come on, Jamie.
God damn it.
Yeah. And there is no engine number 9 in this situation, but but yeah, I mean it's just crazy. Like even the way like when you're wearing them, all you ever hear with the muffs is that clanking sound with anything hitting it in your rifle or whatever. You don't hear it as much with these, or a little lower profile, so that also helps. And just the way that like instead of having to like Jamie was kind of saying, you're still kind of yelling at each other, but you'll notice that you're not really yelling that much. You're talking loud to each other, but you're not like hey, I need you to do, can you get me another mag? You know what I mean? Right. And this is just like you're kind of more like able to just talk. But I know like hunters even use them and stuff too because you can hear better. This is a true story too. I've actually had an altercation to go down outside of my window, and I put these bad boys on to here to see if I needed to intervene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a true story, and it worked. I could hear.
So it's borderline like one of those.
It's like the parabolic dish things. Yeah. It is actually.
Dude, I went over to my fucking parents' place last week. My dad has one of those just sitting up by one of his work desks, and I'm like, you fucking would. Like, of course he would have. Like,
right.
If you just knew him a little more, I'm like, of course you have.
And then there is one other thing.
He likes gadgets like I like. So.
But that's good, right? So it's like you can like be all sad too, right? Like frowny face wearing these. Super, or you could be like super tactical operator, neato cool guy. High speed as fuck. These also, which we didn't actually bring this up before, it actually improves your reload speed by at least 45 seconds.
I think it puts one extra round in every one of your magazines, too.
Yes.
Actually brings them from a 30 to a 31.
Yeah, so got to get them before they go illegal in California
which is pretty fucking tight.
for the CA residents.
Yeah. Pretty
But
sick.
definitely sold with these things. And I would say the last thing about it, unless there's more you want to add, I would just say that I'm just going to guess that I know probably 8 people that have them.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
There's
like
only,
out of my circle of friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember. So I originally got them straight up for airsoft just because it was a costuming thing. Like it was
right.
Look
yeah,
like,
exactly. No, I get it.
Contractors, what we wanted to look like. And but like fuck, dude. Then I started taking them to the range, and I was like, oh shit. Like I actually. So the one thing I will say about them, like a serious gear review on those, not just fucking fluffing their balls the entire time,
right.
is if you're going to go out there and you're going to fire like 3 consecutive shots, on that third shot is when they finally mute themselves all the way. They do kind of taper off where like you're going to be like boom, boom, boom. And then like the last one is like you can't hear it anymore.
But you're still, but the thing to add to that, they still are ear pro without that.
Right.
So the mic end of it is what you're talking about,
Yes,
just so they understand. It's not like, oh, the first shot you're hearing like with naked ear. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, not even.
So
not
just
even
keep
close.
in mind that they are like muting everything in the first place.
They
like
are.
if you're wearing them and the battery is out, they're like normal cans, right?
Exactly.
So just so they knew at home.
Yeah, so I mean you could just use them without the hearing protection if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But I mean as far as for the muting part, if you have them turned on, it does take a couple of seconds for them to, I'd say 1 second, maybe a second and a half.
Yeah, like you said, the 2 to 3 rounds is when you notice it like full on kick in. That's when I notice it the most.
Corey says 9 to 10 rounds. I'm like, no,
sure.
no.
No, but you know what? I have ran these a lot, and I do think it at least adds 1 to 200 rounds per clip.
Per clip, per stripper clip.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Everyone's using magazines, box-fed magazines. If they were using clips, like we do in the hood,
like
then
30-round clip.
Then you would increase your capacity. Like those memes where the guy had that revolver and he had the
Simpsons meme or whatever. He's like loading it in. Or like when there was that one meme of Trump shooting himself in the foot. And everyone was like up in arms over the fact that it was ejecting a fucking shell casing out of a revolver. And I'm like, everyone hammers on those memes so bad. And they're like, they make all of our legislation. They don't even know about guns. And it's like, dude, that's such a stupid thing to fucking pick on.
But
like,
are they wrong?
They're not wrong, but it's like.
No, I know what you're saying. Because it's a fucking meme. It's supposed to be funny.
Fucking low-hanging fruit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, why? Like,
well, it goes back into everyone what's got to be right. And everyone's smarter than everyone
Well, it's like
else.
just fucking, I mean, you make fun of the artist.
There's a lot of times where I see posts and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker. And I want to say something like, but whatever. It's his thing. You know, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
I only troll one person on the interwebs. His name is Tim. And that's it.
And you guys are bros.
Yeah. And he's the only person I actually troll. Like I actually go on his page to start shit. But other than that, I don't usually do that unless I'm asked to come in there or if it's one of my podcast brothers, then I kind of step in there. But yeah, other than that, I don't do that. It's a waste of fucking time too.
Well, it's not fucking necessary.
Yeah.
It's like here's the thing.
It's like, do you know how many things that you posted, like, not you, but you know what I mean, like in general, like you posted of like Bernie Sanders or Trump or some shit, and I hate both of them, but I ain't ever on there. But I post something that's like about don't control me or even them, don't control anyone, about the individual.
I don't want to control you.
Now I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to control you. And they're like, well, I don't fucking agree with that.
Yeah. It's like, I guess freedom first up here is something that just really triggers people, right? Priorities with freedom.
Corey says he's got a guy he trolls.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
It's good to have one.
You got to have one that you fuck with. It's a good time.
Gets the evil out of you a little bit. You know, it's like exercising the demons. Then you can actually cope with all the statists online.
That's fucking hilarious. Jesus.
Yeah, especially with this whole silencer thing going on. I've been really stepping up my game with my boy that's a Trump supporter.
Dude.
And I'm just like, how can you be a Second Amendment guy and
a Trump
be all
supporter?
on for that? Yeah, on board for that. Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah, you failed the city. It's a little arrow quote there.
I just don't like. I don't understand how people don't see.
I thought you were gonna go. I just don't like statism.
I mean, I don't.
I know. It's kind of poo poo caca.
I'm not a fan of it. I mean, if you want to be a statist, that's chill. I don't like
it's your
it.
prerogative.
Yeah.
It's not really chill, but it's your prerogative. Chill because it's not chill because they want to control you.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they want to take your freedom away from you.
But I mean, if that's what they want to be, like, I really can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna talk shit.
Yeah, well, they have they have the monopoly on guns.
Yeah.
And so like force. So.
I'm gonna talk shit though. Like that's what it comes down to.
Sure. Yeah.
He says his buddy, that dude he trolls, is also a Trump supporter.
Yes.
It
just makes it. See, and that's the other thing is like they'll be posting all this shit like I was saying like with Sanders or like Obama or something, like someone that's on the left leaning side.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, cool. It's your thing. Like I don't care. I'm not going to win this argument because you're not going to listen anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really care about that. I it's like just like, why would I do it? Because it just wastes my fucking day. But a Trump supporter that's like pro guns, or they're saying
that's kind of funny.
Also, exactly. And the other one is like when the person always quotes taxation is theft, but they're a Trump supporter. And I'm like, bro, do you even like understand what tariffs are? Do you understand what growing government is?
I'll give you one here. So I know one like diehard Trump supporter that comes to the top of my head. Her name is Krista. So shout out to Krista if she ever watches this. But she literally came in and was like taxation is theft, and she's a super Trump supporter. And I was like, I don't talk shit about any of the stuff that she posts that's all super Trumpy because I'm like, I don't want to fucking that's your prerogative. Like, fucking go for it, you know?
Yeah.
I just one thing I don't understand is how you can be a woman and a Trump supporter. That's one thing I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that they like once again they have to be in bed with the party, the Republican Party, so they don't want to be wrong, so they find ways to justify. And this isn't just Republicans. This is on anybody that's in any kind of political system, ideology, or anything. They don't want to be fucking wrong, so they don't want to challenge themselves, so they try to justify, which is the reason why we like what we're doing, because we actually are trying to come from principle.
Right.
We're trying to be the most, and that's why everyone gets so triggered about what we believe, because they're all, well, you see it like, what was the greatest one? You see it like a caveman because you're just staying. It's like, is it really a caveman when you're using logic and reason to come to the conclusion that all force is wrong, unless it's self-defense?
Right. And
is it wrong to take other people's property? It's like so I'm a caveman now because I believe in actual principle. You
get why she said that though, right?
I don't remember.
It was a couple days back. So like it was because you kept saying the same thing over and over.
Yeah, because it was exactly what I just said.
Because that was the only thing that needed to be said.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's that all property being taken from someone by force is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not a caveman. That's that's sound on principle. Like it's sound. Like what are you talking about? Like taking someone's shit that's not yours is wrong. Well, anyone would say it's not preferable to have my shit taken from me.
So in her defense, what she was trying to say is that it was situational.
Yeah.
Like
this is a different person we're talking about, by the way. So,
is it?
Yeah. No, I mean to them, because you brought up someone else by name. So I want to be clear it's a different person.
Okay, yeah. This is. I didn't think we were going to talk about this on here. I thought we were going to say.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really, but I mean, I'm just saying, like the whole thing is you calling people caveman. It's like because they're staying true to their principles.
So I said taxation is theft a lot.
Right.
But that was the end of the argument.
But that's what the whole thing was about. Taxation is theft. And if you don't agree with taxation is theft, then you believe that it's okay to take other people's property.
Pretty much.
But we don't. So then go somewhere else. Like, you don't have to be here. Like no one's forcing you to be a part of this show or thread or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's the fucking... That's the only thing that we've ever tried to drive home on the show is that, like, I understand possibly a need for everyone to sort of contribute if they want to. If they want to, though. The thing is that I cannot opt out of this service that I am providing to other people who are, not working or here illegally or, whatever the fuck, like, all of our social handouts go to, whoever that may be. I can't decide where my money directly goes, and I have a problem with that. Now, for me to sit back and be like, nope, this is the only system that we can have, it can't get any better, I'd be lying to myself and to everybody, right? So we come up with these weird ideas like, don't steal from people, let them voluntarily donate or give money or decide where it goes, and everyone's like, that's never going to work. And it's like, are you fucking kidding?
Where does it work in statism?
Yeah, it's just
it doesn't. It always turns into a crazy shit show, right?
There was even we were even talking about there was another gal that was on that thread, and she's like, well, you'd probably need people to take care of like who contributes and this sort of thing. It'd almost be like governing body of some sort. And I'm like, that I never said that I was against that, like in its entirety. Like, I always said that you fuck, like everyone just wants to twist shit up, and it's like, dude.
Well, and once again, they always are coming down every single fucking time on how do we do this. All they're doing is how do we socially plan this? How do we create another government is what they're saying.
Immediately.
And that's what we're literally not saying. It's like, and they're arguing and thinking that we're the caveman. But are we really a caveman if we understand that when you bring a collective and a governing body into anything, it turns into a fucking government? So we actually understand that already. Like, they're the ones not getting that. They're not getting that connection. And if you don't agree with that, then that's fine. But then that comes to that point where it's like, okay, well, we both are going to have to agree to disagree. Like, end of story. I've done that many a times. I'm like,
yeah, and it's like, I don't
but
understand.
they can't, because then they keep getting in the name calling and the condescending shit, and you're just like, I didn't do any of that to you.
Why?
I didn't do any of that to you.
Why? It's like, it's so fucking counterproductive.
And there's anarcho-capitalists that do that too. I'm not saying that they don't, but we don't. Me and Jamie don't do that.
I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Yeah.
I've fucking
but we don't do that
as
a general rule. Me and him both, we've even talked about that we go out of our way to actually not say anything like that. Like, condescending or whatever.
Honestly, that's half the time when I see somebody post something religious or something political and I don't agree with it, I just fucking keep scrolling. Fucking give
or not and just keep scrolling,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, fuck, no, I'll like it. I'll like most shit, even if it's a opposing viewpoint to mine. Just because that's a challenge. I appreciate the challenge. Fucking do you. Keep going.
Yeah, sure. But they don't understand it that way either.
Oh, no.
Then they're like, wait, you just agreed with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, did I really agree with you?
Yeah, I didn't
it's like
agree
you could do,
with you. I liked your
but
post.
Did I, though? And here's the other part that me and Jamie can agree upon, too, is that when they start getting on these holy crusades to prove that the state that already exists and failed systems that already exist are going to be the best answer, me and Jamie are just laughing. We're like on there just like, what? You know how many times I go,
why?
What the fuck? Or just start laughing as I read it. And then the first line from somebody that thinks they're so smart, their first fucking line is, but what about the roads? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's all you
clearly don't know shit, and you definitely should never have called yourself a libertarian in the first place if that's the first thing out of your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Because then you clearly are not a libertarian, because that's one of the first things you kind of figure out. Who does it now?
That's day fucking one, bro.
Right, yeah. It's like everyone wants to know how how do we do it without the roads? How do we do it without police? Once again, that's all social planning. All we're saying is it is morally wrong to take people's shit by force. Or even if you snuck in and did it, right? Still, it's wrong to do that.
I think what was happening over the weekend was people have an issue with how we get to that assessment. Because they're like, well, what does it mean how is it force if it's taken out of your paycheck? Well, because I can't stop it.
You didn't sign up to do it.
And I didn't sign up to do it. And if I were to stop it, I can be taken at gunpoint to a box and have to live the rest of my life there.
And if you resist, shot.
Killed even,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
All for not wanting to pay into the collective.
Yeah, and they don't understand that anytime you want a law, what you are saying is that you want a government, a collective, to have control over you, and that law means at the end of it, when you draw the hard line to the end of it, you're going to get shot if you resist.
Absolutely.
And if you semi-resist, you just get thrown in a cage. Either way, it's not that great.
Still sucks.
Yeah, it's not freedom. Which is what the show's about.
Fucking freedom first, babies.
Yeah.
Freedom first.
Yeah. And if you guys are
right in the title.
Right, exactly.
Right there.
It's like, if you don't like the freedom first up above us here, then maybe it's not your show. There's no problem with that. We don't care. It is what it is, right?
I mean, I'd prefer that you watched it.
Sure.
But I mean,
we really don't care. Like, I mean, it's like
if you don't
like it, you
whatever.
don't agree with it, you don't like it, go somewhere else. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, you don't need to. There's a lot.
I like comic books. Do I force people to read comic books? I love old school horror movies. Do I force people to watch them? No. It's like, I like guns. Do I force people to use guns? We also have said that in our show, too. Like, whenever the government's like, oh, this state's going to make it mandatory to own a firearm or whatever, and we're like, we're against that. Like, no. Yeah. We're the most pro-motherfucking gun people there are, but no, you don't force people to do anything.
Yeah, we're also very pro-freedom.
Yeah, which is very caveman because we're being consistent. That's what I took from Johnny Doe's little rant there.
Yeah, fucking
yeah.
Jesus.
So.
It's such a simple concept. I just don't.
It's way easier. It's like you own your own self-ownership property, and the non-aggression principle, and everything that we can believe in after that all falls in line, right? Where a conservative, you ask them that, or a liberal, they're going to have all these feely answers, right? It's always like about feels, or what about the kids?
Yeah, what about my fucking my government handouts?
But what about the poor? What about, it's like, that's not, we're not even, that's, once again, that's social planning.
Yeah.
We're not, that's not what we're
it's
talking
like,
about.
We're not even, so what it is like, we're not even in a position to start planning that yet. We need to start planning more fundamental shit first, and then we can worry about that when we get there.
It's just like you're taking a martial art. You got to learn, like, your basic punches and your kicks and know how the body reacts to things and timing. You don't just teach them these like crazy death touch moves.
Yeah.
The dimmock. It's like day one, they want the fucking death touch. Like, teach me. Yeah,
five finger fucking heart exploding bullshit.
Yeah.
No, you got to take your blocking test first, bitch.
Yeah.
Like fucking it really.
It's like, okay, you got that. Now you're looking at your yellow belt. Like, you know what I mean? Or orange belt, whatever school you're in. You know what I mean? But, like, yeah, it's like everyone wants to be a black belt. This is a great analogy, actually, I think. Like, literally, everyone.
I think so, too.
Yeah. We should start just doing that hashtag, you're a black belt already. Fuck, bro. Triggered.
Day one black belt. Like,
they'll be like, what are you talking about?
We can get some MMA guys in here just pissed.
Yeah, no, I don't think they would care. If you explain it to them, they wouldn't care. A lot of them aren't even black
just kidding.
belts,
Nobody watches this shit anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We already covered that part. Oh, man. What else is going on out there, Corey? What's going on with you, man?
I'm not sure if he's actually listening anymore. I think he might have had to go do something with work. He said earlier, time to leave this bad place, lol, work. Like, so I'm thinking maybe he was watching it like on a work computer or something, and then like, can't have these guys talking about freedom at work. Like, that's going to get me fired.
Bring your headphones in there.
Yeah, right? We got 5 people watching. I don't know why they're not saying anything.
Yeah, it's okay.
It is what it is. We're just sort of fucking hammering down. I had a fucking
you had a long weekend.
Yeah, holy shit. Oh, he's driving home.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah, Jamie had a real long weekend.
Yeah, man. It was good though. Did some ECV stuff this weekend.
Some liver conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah,
is what was going on.
Feels like it's Swiss cheese now.
That's called overtraining in the workout world.
Yeah.
We overtrain. So now
we got Jennifer's watching too.
Oh,
that's
what
cool.
up?
Awesome.
Yeah, so that happens though. You know what I mean? You get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a long, rough one too. A lot of the our crew of guys that all hang out with me and Jamie and stuff. We all had like a bonfire one night. We had a birthday party here at the command bunker one night.
Ian's birthday. That's
right. There was a
shout out to Ian.
Yeah, dude. It was a pretty rough one too for us.
That's good though, man. Yeah. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Were you in town or out? You don't have to get into details.
We were in town.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Over off of Day.
Okay. Yeah. I just didn't know if you were local.
It was originally going to go to Casa, but that didn't work out, and the reason is still unclear to me.
Yeah. Shit happens, right?
Yeah, shit happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Got
That's
myself
cool.
got my new hat.
Nice.
Cool.
It was cool that you didn't have to go too far. So
exactly.
That always makes it nice too.
Yeah, it was nice because it was a camping trip, so it's like
number one in the lazy factor. You know, you don't have to drive that far. It makes it, especially when it's supposed to be a fun thing.
Which I'm lazy as a motherfucker. So like straight
there's
up,
that.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it was like 100 people out there. It was legit. It was a good time.
Yeah, it's weird when he goes to like the restroom here at the command bunker. It's like he falls asleep like halfway there. Just because he's too lazy.
Just so lethargic.
Yeah.
I'm cuddling with the dog like on the ground. They're like, what the fuck?
I needed a break.
Yeah, just needed a break.
Winded.
Oh man.
Yeah, shit happens, bro.
That was good times, though.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a lot of cool stories from this weekend, but they were pretty much a lot of them not membered.
Yeah, so I have some. I just don't want to talk about them
you don't have
on
to.
the air.
And I'm talking about myself too. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm saying like, yeah. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like one of those ones that were like, oh, dude, I was blacked out the whole night. Like, I don't know what.
We both had very vague weekends.
Sure. Yeah. I remember it was fun.
Yeah, I remember it being fun too. For
that
sure.
I remember.
For sure.
I remember there being a lot of empty alcohol containers that I had to clean up.
Yeah.
So I remember that.
Oh, I've got some new special alcohol for you to try later.
Well, that'll be when we record the podcast.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes down.
Yeah.
It's special.
Kind of can't wait. I want to try a little swig of that bad boy.
Oh, yeah.
Or
you're going to like
a
it.
big swig of that bad boy.
Yeah. Fucking A.
Yeah, so...
who else? Anybody got anything for us? You guys chime in, man. We got Jennifer and Corey, the only two that seem to be typing.
That's cool.
If you got any questions, go ahead and let us know, man. Jennifer likes to pick my brain every now and then. She will like ask me a question, and I'll just and she'll just kind of let me go off for
to see what your take is on it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I get that all the time too.
Like myself, before I got into this, I consider myself extremely politically ignorant, and I will always say and admit that like when it comes to like current affairs and things like that, I still kind of am. The thing that I have a great understanding of is what I believe as an underlying principle of right and wrong, and how our current society and current government it completely infringes on our rights and our freedom. Yeah. So that's what I understand.
Well, once again, I brought that up before, where like when we were hanging out at the bar and like a bunch of people would come up to me to ask me what my take was, and mine was always different than everyone else's, right? Well, the reason why was because I don't give a fuck about politics. Like, they'll come up and go, well, Trump's doing this or Obama's doing whatever year it was, right? Like, it didn't matter.
I was going to say
and it's like, what is he doing? Okay, there's force, there's control, the government, it's all bad.
Gay.
Yeah. Yeah. Gay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what and I'm like, it's not, honestly, it's not interesting to me, like, at all. I know I've said that a few times on the show, but it's like, politics don't interest me. Like, they used to a little bit, but not now. Like, I don't care. I'd rather be out there shooting a gun, driving off-road, doing cool shit, having fun, hanging out with my friends, like, doing that stuff. That's freedom. That's having fun. It's all voluntary. Friends are all coming out and hanging out together. That's cool, like, doing stuff like that, or having a project that you got to do or something. That's fun, you know what I mean? Like, but having someone over the top above me, controlling me, you know what I mean, by force, is insanity to me. Like, how does that sound fun?
Yeah,
But what about if there was no licenses and everyone would crash into each other? It's like, really?
Would they?
Would they, though?
Would they?
Really?
Like, would they,
like,
though?
There's no, like, just by that kind of a statement, though, like, 'cause that's just a good example, right? Like, it's like really that there's no other options. Like, we can't just sit down and think about, like, how would you do it if there was no government for a license, or if there even needed to be one. Maybe even the company that sold you the car, maybe they could even give you a little class and make sure you know how to use it first. Who knows? But that would be up to them.
Yeah, maybe
not by a state or a government.
Maybe it should fall under every fucking gun manufacturer to fucking put you through a course after you buy one of their firearms.
Sure,
maybe
but that would be their choice.
It would be their choice.
And then the company that was selling guns to just anybody, maybe that company would go out of business because they're irresponsible. They're selling them to 8-year-old kids.
And that's free market.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Once again, free market is the answer, right?
So the whole licensing thing, I just want to say this. You are the only person that I know that like doesn't have a license and is like, no, I'm not gonna drive.
Don't drive, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just what I was getting at is that like
there may be a black ops operation here and there.
There's probably
but
a lot of people out there driving without licenses.
Yeah. I drove for a whole year. And I didn't even realize, because I never look at it. I never would really get, I got pulled over a few times, got a ticket, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, just generally, I don't just get pulled over. So it's like, dude, I didn't even know it was already expired. And then I was like, fuck it.
Getting pulled over for a fucking driving on a suspended license is like, they don't give a fuck. They're just like, on your way. You're like, wow.
Well, think about how many people they have to deal with that have that, because I know a ton of people that just drive with no license. Or have in the past, you know what I mean?
So like I just recently renewed this, right? I'm gonna show you this one just so you don't have to have to say it. Yeah, but you just look. Like, bro,
right?
It's like get fucked. You know what I
mean? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I just don't understand like how people want that. Like, does that change anything? Like, it doesn't. It's just an extortion racket to take your fucking money.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. And that goes for every single kind of license. All it is a tax, in a sense, right? Mm-hmm. They're taking your money by force, and then they're giving you this right that you should initially have. And I think we've even said in the past is that, like, even people that are, like, constitutionalists, right? So they're more going to be, like, the conservatives or the party, libertarian party type people, not ANCAPs.
Right.
So
right.
they could even use the Constitution and say, well, I thought we were supposed to have freedom of movement in this country. So when you're now having licenses and restrictions on different things, how is there freedom of movement?
Yeah, when it has to be approved and fucking you got to take tests and shit.
But I don't even like to argue that one too much just because it is still from the Constitution and a piece of paper. So, and I respect it to a degree because they tried, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I'd rather that paper be the one that I follow versus, or have to follow, I should say, versus, North Korea. So there is that. But it's just because I don't want to get shot.
Jennifer said she actually learns a lot from listening to us. So that's pretty cool.
Right on.
That's pretty sweet.
Right on.
That feels good.
Yeah. Hits me right here, man.
Yeah. A little freedom. Talk a little freedom.
Yeah, and, you're not going to – and that's the other thing, too, is that, like, remember more towards the beginning of our show, like about half a year ago or whatever, we'd always say, like, yeah, you can still listen to the show and learn some shit, and you might not be, like, still on board with the ultimate idea of whatever it was we were talking about.
Yeah.
But maybe we brought up a new point that maybe just, like, I hate to say plant a seed of freedom, but, I mean, it could do that, or it could just be like, okay, now I understand this one thing. Or I might even just know how an anarcho-capitalist or a libertarian, or at least these fucking idiots.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
At least our dumbasses.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah.
Either way, man, it's one of those things where it's like the whole show has been a journey for me, and it's been awesome. But it was one of those things that we all kind of started because we sort of we're like, yeah, like this is what we believe, and it's a little different than what most people believe, and it kind of is against the grain. But like if you look at it objectively and you talk to anyone with any sort of rational head on their shoulders, like my buddy Justin, like shout out to Justin. Yeah. Like I started talking to him about this kind of shit, and he doesn't agree with it,
right,
like, for the most part,
right.
But he listened and was like,
understood where we're coming
I understand
from.
why you would think that, and I was like, cool, man,
yeah.
and like fucking, it was some hand slappies. Yeah. That was it, we agreed to disagree.
And that's that's actually kind of a good point too. Is that like from the statist perspective, someone that believes in the government or something like that, right? Like. It's like how do we understand where they're? I mean, wait. Let me rephrase this. So they don't think that we understand where they're coming from, and it's like all the time, right? They're you don't understand, or that can't work that way. It's like no, I'm just telling you this is the way I think, and I want it to come from this angle of no one to control me, where you're trying to act like I don't understand what you believe. And it's like, no, I understand what a socialist believes. I understand what a Republican believes.
I used to be a socialist.
Exactly.
A
Democrat, a Republican. It's like, I do understand that. We came from the statist world. We didn't just like appear here and be like, we're individuals and we're freedom and blah, blah. Like that it was a journey.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I used to be. So I was real big into the Zeitgeist films.
Yeah,
and I still think those are great because like they have a lot of evidence about the false flag operations and bullshit like that. And the second one is really good because of it explains how the Federal Reserve works and the whole fractional reserve banking system.
I remember that one.
That's if you haven't seen Zeitgeist, the second one, it's called Addendum. Definitely watch that because
I remember when I was watching it was like the first half of it. I was like, "This is awesome!"
Yeah,
and then finally they start getting in all their
yeah,
and then
social.
It's statism.
Well, and I was into the whole social project because it was collectivism. It was like everyone. If you, and I think this is how like some modern socialists will think is that like if you, can change human incentives to the point where no one. Any longer really is trying to look out for themselves only. If they do actually put the collective or put the rest of society in front of their own needs, then that is how like Project Venus, which
right, that's their main project.
Yeah, Jacques,
whatever his name is. Yeah, something. I don't know. Yeah, Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, no, he's like a legit dude.
His name is Jacques. I don't know his last name.
Fucking cool ass dude. Cool project. I would love to see a society like that emerge from actual true freedom, but I would like to see it be voluntary.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's the only thing. If you want to have a true collective socialist society, do it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
But don't force anyone in that society to comply with you. You should be able to live there, or I should be able to live right outside your fucking gates in my gunslinging Wild West, which is what everyone fucking thinks it's one or the other is what everyone thinks, right? They're like, we either completely socialist or it's chaos.
Well, yeah, and then like socialist or communist or statist or whatever you want to call them, they're always looking at, like, by those questions that they always ask us, they are utopian. And they'll go, well, how do you guys are just utopianists, because it's like, no, that's literally not what we are. We're not utopianists. We're not fucking authoritarians. Like, we don't believe in any of that stuff. We believe in it's the individual makes their own decision, and everyone should leave them alone, like each individual.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, but Johnny, how do we take care of that guy who maybe needs a little help on the street? Well, if you don't fucking know the guy,
once again,
you probably don't.
Right.
Like, fuck him.
Yeah, or you start a charity to actually help them if you have a bleeding heart, right?
Start a
like,
fucking GoFundMe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but once again, that first question, right after I made that statement, the first question, because it's exactly what they would do, the first question is literally social planning.
Yeah.
Which is utopian shit. Like, because the goal of social planning is to make a perfect system.
A perfect society.
Yeah, sure. So it's like, you, and then they argue and they get mad, right? And then you're like, well, yeah, see.
Shout out to Kenny. It's all right, Kenny.
What up, Kenny?
Next time, man. He says sorry you can't.
Yeah, he's out of town this week, so.
You got shit to do, brother.
Yeah.
Hope you're listening.
He's got a lot of shit to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so anyways, it's just kind of crazy, right? Like, that's like immediately, oh, no, I understand where you're coming from, and then they ask a question that just proves that they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
So I find that a lot of times in these arguments is everybody wants a very, very specific answer to their very specific question, when really most of our philosophies are blanket statements, and they because they all fall under.
Well, there's always ways to figure out how to do everything by using the non-aggression principle, by using self-ownership.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Is it's self-ownership, it's the non-aggression principle,
voluntary transactions.
But I mean that goes under non-aggression
individualism.
Principle.
Yeah, but
that goes also.
Yeah,
under,
exactly.
So
and that's why the two things that need to stay in people's head, if you want to be a libertarian, you got to understand what self-ownership is and actually learn what it is, and you got to learn what the non-aggression principle is.
It's so simple. It's
so simple.
It's so simple.
We triggered ourselves. We both so simple. The gross motor skill.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
That like when you come back to people that are trying to rebuttal with the same statement, that it seems like I am not putting enough effort into the debate, but I don't need to put any more than that statement. If you don't understand,
that is the answer.
That is the answer, right? So, and I think that's what a lot of it is.
Like I said, the burden of proof is always lying on anarcho-capitalist or libertarian to answer every single fucking question.
Right.
Where the socialist, it's like we don't notice that we don't ask the questions back to them hardly ever. We might to get a point across, but we're not initially asking them a question about something like that, like about a plan, like a social plan.
Right.
We might ask a question, do you think it's wrong to, you know what I mean? Like that way, because that's where we're coming from.
So
you notice that though, I've never seen a libertarian do that. Like, what would happen in a socialist society if there was no prisons? Like, you never hear them asking.
Dude, it's because, like, I'm not out here to prove you wrong. Like, I'm literally out here to say, if you want that society, fucking tight.
I'm minding my own goddamn business.
Yeah, I don't want to.
You're the one that came to me,
and I don't want to fucking be part of whatever the fuck you're doing.
There's another one and this is on numerous things. Like, oh well, you don't even want to talk because you're just saying the same thing over again. I'm like, you came on my fucking shit. You know what I mean? You sought me out. I'm just minding my own fucking business over here.
Yup.
You know what I mean?
It's easy, dude. It's so fucking...
so simple.
Yeah, it's so simple. Like, I don't give a fuck how it's going to work in a social society because I don't advocate for a socialist society. If you want to be in a social society, like, I support your fucking right to be in a socialist society. That's what people don't understand. It's like, you may have different a different point of view, and you may not agree with us, but like we're out here advocating for your right to disagree with whatever the fuck you want.
How about you disagree with me on your show? Oh, you ain't got a show? Get the fuck out of here.
Sorry about that. Like, hey,
I'd never have done that, but that would be funny though.
That would be fucking funny.
That would be funny. Yeah. It's
yeah,
like,
I'm just saying it's one of those things where it's like most of the time when someone doesn't agree with our point of view, all they do is tell us why it won't work.
Yes.
There's no helping us figure out how it would work. There's no advocating for how
it's not an honest discussion is what it is.
It's not. There's no advocating.
We're staying true on the principle, and then they're jumping all over it to try to disprove every single thing we're saying.
Exactly.
But every answer is always coming back to the same shit. Is it force? Is it government control force? You know what I mean?
So simple.
Is it? Yeah. It's like, are you violating me as an individual?
It's science, really.
Yeah, it is science, bro.
There's no like.
If I wanted to be in a fucking collective, I'd become an ant. You know what I mean, and be part of their fucking colony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want that.
One thing people never fucking argue with us either is how it would work in their advocated system of government.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And the reason is because like we are never on the fucking offensive. Mm-hmm. It's always on the defensive. And so it's like, well, now I'm defending why my opinion is the way that it is, and that's all it is a fucking opinion. Mm-hmm. And then
yeah, sure.
You like I never go on the offensive and be like, well, how does it work in your way? And you're like, oh, well, probably like it does right now. And I'm like, don't like it. That's all I was fucking saying.
Yeah. See, it's better like I like the conversations where it's already people on the same page as far as like understanding those principles and stuff. And then if we're going to talk about like how we make things work and different options and things like that the free market could provide, I like that conversation. But when you have the statists like arguing about it, unless they're just asking questions. Now, there's tons of people that ask questions, but we're not talking about like honest people that are honestly asking a question. I've spent many hours doing that.
It's a lot of rhetorical
But usually it's fucking like, nah, I'm right, you're wrong. It's like that's what they're always trying to do, and I'm just like staying as consistent as fuck.
A lot of the time, yes.
Yeah. Well, you're only putting taxation as theft. I'm like, because that answers the fucking question.
That was literally...
The question was, once again...
The question, like, we'll get into it on the show, because, like, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But,
then we always get, like I said, like, I've been called every name under, from cuck to fucking caveman to stupid to dumb to idiot, shithead, faggot, whatever.
Somebody called you.
Oh, yeah, bro, and I said there's nothing wrong with liking cock. And it went dead.
Dark.
Yeah.
He's like,
I screenshotted that and actually posted it on my personal page.
Like, that was a
and everyone was like applauding me and shit. They're like, that was awesome. It's like, what are you gonna say now, fucker?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole fucking. Yeah. God damn it, that's that.
But yeah, obviously it's not just about taxation and stuff. It's about all the different things that we all believe, like leave people alone. And it was definitely like in that one instance, I remember it was a Trump supporter.
Dude, it's so easy to think like, and a lot of people don't understand this one fundamental thing and I understand it's a very black and white way to look at it, but like if you think that taxation is okay, even in the very minute form, then you think it's okay to steal people's property from them. Now, if you were to say, let's live in a society where I get to decide where my money goes towards for government programs, that's voluntary, and I have less of a problem with that. Now, I still don't want to do it, but I mean...
Well, you have less of a problem with it, but that's not what we believe, right? Like,
yeah.
But, yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's just like I even said about the Constitution. It's like, it's just a stupid piece of paper. However, I'd rather have that stupid piece of paper over me than North Korea's bullshit, right?
Right.
So it is that. And yeah, of course, like you would be talking more about like a conservative, like a true conservative, or maybe even a party libertarian, maybe that would be like, yeah, I would rather know where my taxes are going and all that shit. But then the true ones that are actually like getting the principles down are going to be like me. They're going to be like, no, all fucking taxes are bad, and that's where the free market is the fucking answer. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. There is like a slight disconnect.
No, there totally is, and I think that like the society that I would live in, like if I had an employer that said, okay, so a portion of your wages get donated to road maintenance, and homeless shelters. Okay, well, the free market would say that I don't have to work for them if I didn't want to.
Sure.
Now, it's not free market as soon as those two things get funded by every employer, which is what fucking taxes are.
Right.
If you cannot work somewhere where they're not going to give you 100% of your wages, that is stealing.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, if there was a private employer, he had his business, and he said, "Hey, I need money, I want to take a little bit of your money out, like 2%, and it's going to go to our yearly road fix-up whatever thing for all the roads around us, and the one that helps pay for the freeway that comes from the main factory or distributor that comes to us. We have to keep that maintained as well."
Right.
And I would go there to work, and I'd be like, "Sure, whatever, cool."
That,
Yeah, or I'd be like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna go find another place that doesn't take any of my fucking money."
Right.
Right. That's free market solution right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But as soon as you have a government come in and say, "Now I'm gonna point a gun at you if you don't give me your fucking money," that's where we have a problem.
There it is. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Science.
It amazes me how why is it such a hard
It's
concept?
not hard. It's easier. Like at first it's hard because you have the statism goggles on and you're used to it because you've been conditioned your whole life to, be part of the system and we even like TV, like you watch any of the TV shows like cop shows, it's always respect authority. Superheroes, it's always altruistic, always like let's help out people, putting
greater good.
Yeah, being
shit.
selfless is number one. Like that's what they're pushing the whole fucking time. And I'm here just saying like, how about just be selfish and like let the individual do their own shit, and by them being selfish and taking self-interest in their own shit, then eventually they're gonna fucking be able to like take care of other people and do whatever they want. Once it's like when you're playing those what are those bird's eye? It's been so long since I played these video games. The bird's eye military games like Command and Conquer. What do they call those? The style?
Real-time strategy.
Real-time strategy. It's like you're playing those. I always played this way, and I didn't realize it till like years later. But I'd always build up my economy and my defense border. I didn't push out any shit like tanks and offense and stuff like that. I always was like real like, build this motherfucker up, Tesla coil here, fucking,
make a
bunker
compound.
here,
Yeah.
and then have all these whatever they were that were collecting the ore or whatever the fuck it was, doing that shit, making hella money and just pumping up everything.
Tiberium miners.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
depending on the game, right?
Well,
I think it was. That was kind of the thing they did.
So I'm gonna get into this.
Go for it. I brought it up. That's fine.
That particular franchise, I never got into.
Yeah, I played the fuck out of that shit.
I watch people play it. I think it's cool. The Command and Conquer thing.
It's a great way to waste about 8 hours.
Easy.
Yeah,
easy.
Especially if you play the way I play.
The Blizzard ones were the ones that I got into. So Warcraft, StarCraft.
Right.
Those were my.
Yeah, I didn't play those.
Jam. Yeah, those were good.
But yeah, I mean that's what I did. So it's kind of that concept. It's like take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Get your fucking way to protect yourself. Advance your
guns.
money. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Or bazookas, whatever.
Whatever.
Not judging. Grenades. But like anything, you get your self-defense squared away and you get your economic end of it like squared away. And then you could go out and not attack people, but you could go out and help people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the analogy's hilarious. But I mean, like, yeah, right?
Jennifer said something. She said Minecraft, but I was like, no, it's not. It's not. Minecraft is a we call it an FPS TPS, so it's a first-person shooter, third-person shooter, because you can't actually go between the two.
It had similarities, though, didn't it?
No, I wouldn't.
See, I didn't play that one.
No, Minecraft is a very.
Oh, I know which one it is now. It's the 3D block thing.
One,
yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
It's the little.
Oh, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of, was it Warcraft? Is that what I was thinking of?
Warcraft was what I said. Warcraft and StarCraft.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's why I was thinking.
Yeah,
that,
top down.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, they call that view. They call it a isometric. Mm-hmm. So like most dungeon crawlers like Diablo, those were isometric too because you control one guy, but it's like it's not 90 degrees, but it's kind of like cockeyed
back.
A little bit. For whatever reason, they call that like an isometric view. So yeah, a lot of
well, like on some of those first-person
RTSs
shooters back in the day, they had that mode where you could either be in the camera, or you could see a guy in front of you, or you could see your guy down low. There was a couple games like that where you could see different variations.
Yeah, I remember.
Kill Switch was one of them.
Kill switch?
The original one, yeah.
I
I think it was the
never
original
played
or
that
second one, but yeah, you could hit a little button and it would
Pop it out.
Yeah, like 3 different views. The only thing that sucked is when you're like in the middle of a battle, sometimes you hit it on accident. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because then your cursor is like now it's like over
Although
here.
it did help, it did help sometimes because when you're in the close view, you know, and you're shooting, and then there's like a shit ton of guys far off, and you can't really see them. Then you zoom out and you see your guy in front of you. Now you can see it. Yeah, so it did help. It did help a lot.
Cornering or walling,
yeah.
they would call it.
Yeah.
You go into third person mode and like you're right on the corner of an whatever obstruction.
Mm-hmm.
You like rotate the camera so you can see around the fucking corner.
Yep, that's badass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They call it riding the bull.
Riding the bull. So Jennifer says, yeah, it's a little block world.
Yeah. I know which one it is now. For a second, I was trying to figure out which one it was.
Kenny's talking about E3 going on. Actually, we might have some cool announcements then pretty soon. I'm hoping. E3's a giant fucking gaming convention. I think it's the biggest one actually.
Right.
So like
that's when they come out with all the trailers and stuff for all the new ones.
All the new shit. Yeah. So
it's like Comic-Con basically, right? Like for video game.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what the companies I'm looking forward to. As much as I hate to say it, EA is probably gonna have something Battlefield related or maybe Star Wars related. That'd be pretty sick.
I feel like there's always a Star Wars game.
Something, right?
Yeah.
Blizzard. I hope Blizzard comes out with something. So I mean, I hope Blizzard comes out with something in the StarCraft or the Diablo thing. The thing is that Blizzard just came out with last E3, I think it was, or BlizzCon maybe. A new Diablo game that's for mobile. Like, so here's what I wanted was a reskin of their second game. I just wanted it on new technology.
Yeah,
the second game was so
I don't
good.
care, yeah.
Because there is a third one out, and it's okay, but it took a very long time for it to get okay. Mm-hmm. It was a fucking botched launch. Everybody hated it. It was a bunch of fucking bullshit. But like what I've always wanted is a remake of the second one. And what I thought was going to happen was they were going to do something like that, and we got a mobile game. So it's like, you are primarily like 98% of your market plays your games on PC. The other 2% being Mac, but they don't make console games.
And the worst was, like, I remember back in the day I was playing whatever shooter game I was playing at the time. You'd have, like, part 1 of whatever the title was, and then you have part 2, and you're like, oh, it's getting better. It's got all this stuff. And then, like, the part 3 or part 4 would come out, and you're like, bro, I just want to go back and play my other one. Why couldn't you just make new levels and shit? You know what I mean? Yeah, I hate that. Or some people will complain too much. Oh, it felt too much like the other game. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, it is the other game, really. I mean, it kind of is supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like if you're playing a Halo game, like you don't want it to be. And what was the shit one that everyone hated back in the day? There's like Halo 1, 2, and then there was that like weird. It had the initials or something. Like I can't remember what it was called.
There was a Halo 3. There was a Halo Reach. There was a Halo War. Which that was actually
I played
RTS
that one.
game.
I played that one too,
RTS.
but that wasn't what I was talking about because that was just like obviously that's a separate thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was one that like everyone at the time like.
I never played anything past Halo 2.
I
don't remember.
It was after 2 though, so whatever. Aaron would have been the one to answer this question because Aaron's a Halo guy.
Kenny said Microsoft, Blizzard, they both had big announcements. So if Microsoft, maybe something Halo.
Speaking of blizzards, it's hot as fuck outside, man. We need a blizzard to blow in right now.
ODST.
Oh, yep,
Halo
that's
ODST.
it. Yeah, who got it?
Johnny.
Oh, there you go.
Fucking other John.
Yep. You are right. That was one everyone complained about. But I said, like, don't you hate that? It's like, oh, yeah, number 2. Oh, yeah, it's awesome. And then they come out with some random, or it could have been like a part 2 or 3 or whatever, like in another title, right? But then you're just like so disappointed. You're like, I spent all this time. I waited a day in fucking line to get this shit. You know, my daughter lost her virginity in the line. You know what I mean? Lost my dog. Got hit by a car.
Jesus Christ.
You know, it's brutal. And then you play this shit game. And this is why I stopped playing video games.
Worth it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, totally worth it.
So I do want to share this, like this little bit of nostalgia. I remember seeing the not a trailer but a gameplay demo for Halo 2, and the only like this is like the beginning of YouTube, all this type of stuff. Like the quality was terrible. It was on somebody's like it was camera phones didn't exist back then, so it was a camcorder
handheld tape fed camera. Yeah.
And dude, We were watching them. Like, we saw, okay, so you're Master Chief, right? Battle rifle.
Losing your
boom, boom,
mind.
boom.
Yeah.
Like, you're shooting up the little, what were they, not the Flood, but what was the other race called?
I don't remember what they were called. I just
Son
know
of a
the sound
bitch.
they made when they died.
Yeah.
The little, like,
What was
gumdrop looking guys?
No, the little like the grunts. There were grunts. There were the elites. There were I'm spacing on what they were called. Not the Fallen. No. They were the aliens. The Arbiter was one of them. He was an elite. They had like the ones that had the fuel rod cannons and shit. The main bad guys of Halo. No, I said grunt already, Johnny. Like, what was the race called? Is what I'm
Somebody
trying to figure
Google
out.
it is what he's actually saying.
Yeah, I probably should just fucking Google it. Anyway,
Yeah, whatever.
fucking
But yeah.
popping them off. Right?
They're
Fucking
aliens
blasting
nonetheless,
them.
yeah.
He's blasting them. And
I just said, hey, there's a gun in my fucking hand. There's aliens. I'm killing motherfuckers.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah.
So then he fucking no, they're not called the Fallen. That's from Destiny. So they zoomed in. They fucking taught like from Halo 2 like how they had a zoom function on the new primary rifle because it was like a burst fire gun.
Right,
instead of a full
I remember,
auto.
yeah.
And it fucking was all zzz, and the crowd fucking. And then after that was when they introduced the dual wielding.
Yeah.
So he like put down the battle rifle, picked up one of their fucking alien pistols.
Right.
Then he picked up another one. And everyone's like,
Yeah, right. Dude, that
yeah.
alien pistol, too, you just like, you're just like fucking hammering away with those. Yeah.
You could, and that was when you could charge up.
Right,
and
right,
it would
yeah.
fucking in multiplayer.
I remember that shit.
Dude,
That
in
was cool.
multiplayer Halo 2, you had one of those just all the time fucking
Yeah,
charging.
and then the other one you're shooting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, you just fucking let go of it because that would kill somebody's shield
Yep.
in one hit.
One
And
hit.
you just fucking dead. Fuck you.
Yep.
Like, it was
I
awesome.
remember that. Yep. And then you get that one asshole when you're playing multiplayer that was really good at the sniper rifle, and you just die every time.
Yeah,
There's always that.
for sure.
Always.
The
that.
Covenant. That's what I was fucking talking about.
See, I totally know that now. Now that
Yeah.
you said it, yeah.
The Covenant. Yeah, Johnny's like, I jizzed my fucking pants when that happened.
Yeah. And then you'd always have one guy that was really good with sticky grenades. Like, really
oh
good.
my God.
Like,
yeah.
everyone, what it is, But one guy, it was like almost their signature move. You know what I mean? And just blap, and you're like, fuck!
When they get it on your face and you just see it glowing, you're like,
Yeah.
son of
Yeah,
a
you're just like,
bitch.
ah!
Like, yeah. So we used to do this shit. Like, I found out like that the explosives worked really, really interestingly in the first Halo on that engine because you could stack them all up on top of each other and then shoot it with a rocket, and like a bunch of grenades could go off at once, and it would like make the explosion like exponentially bigger.
Sweet.
So you could like launch warthogs over like shit places where you
Nice. I
couldn't
didn't know
normally
that.
get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, hell
Cool.
yeah. And then I figured out how you could throw. I don't know if I figured it out on accident or what happened, but if you throw a sticky grenade or throw a grenade on the ground, it has an explosive radius. So if you stand away from it and you throw another grenade over the top of it, when it explodes, before it hits the ground and sticks, you can throw that grenade really,
bounces it
really
off of
far.
it, yeah.
Like really far.
Yeah.
So like there's that game Hang 'em High.
I know what you're talking about.
Which
The
was
Western
the one that
one,
had,
right?
No, it wasn't
No?
Western. It was the cement one.
Oh, I was picturing that new stupid one that everyone keeps talking about. It's like the new Western game that came out.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, and they have like taxation is theft on the wall in there too.
Nice.
No, it's actually just it's not real, but yeah, it's a fucking meme that
Pretty-
they say.
pretty
They're all
fucking
if you
awesome.
look closer, and it's on like one of the cowboy buildings.
So yeah, Bungie did make Halo, yeah, for sure. And now Bungie's part of Ubisoft now, I think. But anywho, in Hang 'em High, there's so it's a square, right? It's a box, and you're in this thing. There's a couple different levels. As far as for floors wise, it's probably like a 4 or 5 story thing between like crevices and then buildings and whatnot. But you could go in there, and there was these two in the adjacent corners from each other, opposite corners rather. It was like impossible. Like you could see someone with like the zoom pistol or a sniper rifle,
Right.
but they're pretty far apart, right? Well, I had it recorded somewhere, and it was amazing. But I was trying to get down the technique to throw a grenade across the whole thing using the double grenade technique. And so you throw one down on the ground, time it 1, 2, whatever, because it has to be on the other side of the grenade, so it shoots it that direction, right? Dude, and we had somebody, their screen was recording, and the grenade just, you see the explosion.
And it just shoots off.
Yeah, and then it just like hella slow, and then just like just stuck on their head glowing.
And
then
that's why he was a virgin till last year.
Blew up and killed him. Yeah, because I was trying that the whole time.
Yeah, now he's 45, so it's been a long,
48 actually. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, though. That is pretty awesome.
It was good
and you
times.
guys are like losing your mind.
Oh yeah, it was
bro.
like you ever watch that fucking like Dude Bro or whatever? What's that one where they make like those impossible shots with like frisbees and basketballs and shit? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know the show, but I've seen plenty of people do that stuff.
Anyway, yeah, but like they make it and they're like, oh
yeah, oh yeah, it was that moment.
Bunch of celebration, so it was like that.
Yeah,
it was a celebration,
and you just got the participation trophy.
It was awesome, dude. Perfect.
Kenny
fucking got it. Yeah.
Oh, that was the show. Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, perfect. Pretty fucking epic. Cool, man. I don't really have any more about video games on that bad boy.
Why don't you do
it's funny that we got Minecraft right here.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that too. I looked over at it
on the fucking computer.
Why don't you give a little social media plug here?
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So if you're watching and you haven't liked us everywhere, where's this one here?
Almost everywhere.
There it is. Make sure you make it to our multiple social media pages, such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud, Pornhub, Patreon, Spotify. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Show your support. Buy some merch. Okay? Go to shop.spreadshirt.com/Grim86.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself a tank top.
Yeah.
The weather today sure would have permitted that.
Bro.
You're going to want a tank top for sure.
Yeah, and below every single one of our podcast, there'll be the link in the description. On the live streams, I don't think we have it in there.
It's right there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we do.
Sweet. So there you go. It's in every single one.
So even if you just got a hankering, you're like, damn, I need a new shirt. I need a new mouse pad. I need a button. I need a thermos. You know, you need some gear.
A pillow.
Some freedom gear. A pillow.
Pillowcase.
Pillowcase. Yeah. Go ahead and just click the link in the description below. Go down there. Give us your money. This is how the free market works. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, even though we're getting the fuck taxed out of our shit because
it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it is. It
is what it is.
We did it voluntarily.
Yeah.
I guess can't fucking complain.
Yeah. So, go like and subscribe and share us on all social media. And, you guys bring up some topics and stuff. Like, that's kind of why we wanted to do the live stream.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys.
Yeah. So we got our topics locked for the show tonight, but the podcast when we record.
But the whole like that's the reason why we
all these socialist motherfuckers, where are they now?
Yeah. I like how I almost just sent it like the actual link to them. I'm like, dude, like get on here. I can still do it.
Yeah,
like,
but that's kind of rude. Like to actually just like we're talking shit.
Yeah.
But like, and we only have like a half an hour left. So that would have been good at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe next week.
Fuck, maybe next week. We'll see if anyone wants
Get ready for a lot of name calling in the comments section.
No. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be better if we can actually have an open dialogue about it. Because I didn't see any name calling actually from either of the people that I'm thinking of.
Stupid, caveman. There was like 3 more.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dumb.
All right.
Can't read. There was at least 2 more than that too. And that was just, but like if you look at the tone, right? There was none of that from any no one else, dude.
Try not to be so condescending.
Yeah. It's like, come on, who are you? Stop being a prick. Like, be nice. Be nice.
Everybody love everybody.
Yeah, sure, I'm all about that. So and then that was another one you get called all the time too. You guys are hippies. You're hippies with guns.
You know what? I don't fucking care.
It's like I'm not a hippie.
I'll be a hippie with guns.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. You have the right to be whatever you want.
If that's what
you want, yeah.
I'm not gonna let it get me worked up. Is what it comes down to. Because I'm like, you've listened to nothing that we've said. Not one thing you've listened to. Because otherwise, how could you think that?
We got a little bit of a roll earlier though about that stuff.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, we had to. Yeah. You got to. It's important.
I busted out some old comics the other day.
Did
some
you?
Image comics too. So I haven't, I own a few Image #1s of different, titles and stuff, but I was more of the Marvel guy. Like I just didn't really, and there's some DC too. But
what's Image?
Image is the company, so like they're the company just like Marvel or DC.
Okay.
And they popped up in the 90s, kind of like, I believe it was, I don't know if it all was a split, but definitely a bunch of people left Marvel and went to them.
Really?
Like big name motherfuckers.
Okay.
Like X-Force was like a big thing that was going on at that time.
Uh-huh.
And they actually, like, the artists and everyone, like, they all left and went to Image. And so they started, let me think here, like Youngblood, what was the other one? Brigade, I was reading last night. And the one that most people would know is Spawn. So that's where he's from.
Spawn's from Image.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, do you know off the top of your head where the Watchmen universe is from?
I believe that's DC.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
I want to say
I've never read
right.
any of that
I want to say that you're right.
Yeah, I think it is.
Dude, that would be so cool. Batman and the Watchmen. Oh, fuck. There was a Ninja Turtles meets Batman fucking comic.
Animation
Dude.
movie, too.
Was it really?
Oh, it's out. Yeah, it just came out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We have to watch
Yeah.
that,
Oh, yeah.
bro. Oh,
yeah.
we got to get that
Yeah,
shit.
it shows all of them like, hey, dude, and all this shit. And then you see, like, Batman just like, fuck out of here. He's like, what the hell? I think it's the real Batman voice, too.
Kevin Conroy.
I believe so.
Nice.
I believe so.
Oh, that'd be so fucking sweet. I want to read the comic.
I just saw the trailer for it, but it's like just came out.
That's so badass. We should fucking watch
Yeah,
that
find
shit.
it.
We'll watch that shit.
Find it. Batman and Ninja Turtles. Pull this out. Yeah, we haven't done any really videos on here yet.
Yeah, we haven't. Let's get the search button here.
And the way they did the animation on it and stuff looked pretty cool because it was kind of true to their comic book style, but a little bit more adult. Or not comic book, but their cartoon. But a little bit more. Yeah, that should be at the first one.
The top one?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, fucking 4-minute trailer. Jesus Christ. All right. Is this the number 2 monitor?
Yes. Yeah.
Which one do I got?
That's the one for 3. That's the one. Yeah, the one that we you changed it, but like I think that'll put us on live. I got you here.
So
yeah, we haven't done it since we changed the monitors.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, give it a let's see what happens here.
Trying to get the cursor over that. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do a fucking Batman Ninja Turtles trailer. Okay. All right, here it is.
There.
Look, I love being an
the
amphibian
turtle
as
calm,
much
dude.
as the next guy.
Amphibious, we're still reptiles.
Yeah, thanks for that. But you sure this cave leads anywhere?
Glad you asked. I am sure, actually. I made a database of every reported Batman.
So this is actually part of the movie.
City's police records and
This isn't the trailer.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a trailer at all.
No.
Where are you taking us? The answer
should
should
we-
be right
Should probably pull it down so we don't get flagged too.
Yeah, I don't know if I want.
But that's pretty cool. I don't want to waste.
Oh, he's
yeah,
got the thing.
I don't want to waste. Spoil it.
Yeah. Do you know what the story is behind the T-Rex?
No,
Yeah.
maybe.
Because it was the first time I ever saw it was in that Arkham game that I wanted you to play.
In the Batcave.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's down. It's still down. That's the second time I've seen it. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. But obviously it was something that was trying to destroy the city. I mean, we can go there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, this
is that the
looks
trailer?
Like
yeah.
It is the trailer.
All right.
Oh, WB animation. So it is actually made
So
by them.
there you go.
Dude. Yeah. Okay.
I actually didn't see the whole trailer. I just seen clips of it.
All right, here we go. Hopefully this is the actual fucking trailer.
It all happened so fast.
Might need to turn down a little.
We have to stop them, Batman.
Whatever they are, they're going to regret stepping foot in Gotham.
It doesn't quite sound like
Yeah, it
him.
didn't sound like. Did a good job though.
Yeah.
Sounds like him. So we got Penguin.
Do I look like a friggin' bat to you?
Not all heroes wear capes.
Some wear bandanas.
Or shells.
Ninja Turtles.
We came to Gotham to stop Shredder and the Foot Clan.
Oh, it looks pretty legit. They try to keep it looking like pretty real, true.
Destroy this city is right behind this door.
That's pretty awesome. Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, dude. TCRI. Oh, what the fuck? They're gonna give Joker the
Okay,
ooze,
this looks
bro?
good now.
Yeah.
I'm excited now.
Criminals in all of Gotham. welcome to try.
I think it looked good.
Oh, dude, I'm into this.
Thought too fast.
We're not your enemy.
This is still my city.
If they're ready for a fight, we bring them a freaking fight. You are no match for me.
Let's
Oh, yeah. Batman versus Shredder. Yes, dude.
So awesome. I like it.
Oh, I'm into it.
I'm down.
That's going to be fucking so sick.
So it looks like it's out, right? I mean, that's what it seems to be. I don't know if it is or not.
I'm going to figure that out this evening, so don't
They don't
worry.
say it in the description right there? Sometimes they'll say
Trailer
it.
2019. Show more.
No.
Just subscribe, yeah. I'll figure it out.
Well, we got some homework to do now.
Shit,
Watch that movie and do a little review on it.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Can't say the sound was too low. Sorry about that, man.
Yeah.
It was loud as fuck. In
Hey,
these
as long as we
cans.
don't get flagged, because we can get
Yeah.
flagged for this shit.
It was loud as fuck, bro. When we were listening to it, I had to turn it down.
We haven't done that on the live stream. We kind of fucked with it that very first test one, but we changed shit since then, too.
Yeah. Fucking A.
But yeah, dude,
Cool.
that looks sick.
Hell yeah. I'm
Shredder
ready,
and
dude.
Razan Ghul, so you have like two ninja teams or clans or whatever, right?
Yup.
The League of Shadows and shit. Like,
And the Foot Clan. Although, like, the League of Shadows totally fucking kicked the Foot Clan's
oh
ass, if
fuck
you ask
yeah,
me.
bro!
Yeah.
Come on, let's not,
A team of Batmen versus
Yeah.
fucking whatever your bullshit
Right.
Foot Clan is.
yeah,
Robots in the cartoon.
yeah. Well, and they were like a lot of them were teenagers in the movie. Remember that
In
was
the
what-
movie.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, they're just kids.
I don't know what they were in the original comic. I think they were actually like ninjas and shit, though. Like not kids, like actual ninjas. Like the
Okay.
OG. Remember I was talking about the original ones? They're all wearing the red mask, all of them.
Right.
So in that one, I think they were all. That was like the original like push out of Ninja Turtles. It was more adult.
Okay. No, and it was, and I still want to fucking read it. I remember I had a comic book that had like Raphael on the front of it, or I mean, it might have been all of them. 'Cause
Yeah.
they all had
They're-
the red
well,
mask.
yeah.
But like, and it was all super
It
detailed.
would have been
and
more
gritty.
cool though if you just said I had a comic book and then just stopped.
Yeah, I had a comic book.
Just all awkward, like, and I just been like listening, like
You're like,
w-
tight.
wait,
Tight,
you
dude.
good?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, I used to have a fucking
Yeah, there's a lot
Not
of
too
the
many.
covers on the one that was based off the cartoon kind of thing, comic book. There was a lot of them with Raph on the cover. He's the popular one. He's like the Wolverine of the Turtles. Everyone likes the angry guy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like everybody does.
He's like on his period all the time,
Awkward.
but with ninja skills. And it's. Do you think it's a coincidence that the mask is the color red?
No. Maybe.
It's probably actually red for anger, but I'm going with my story.
Yeah, because that's like what the original ones look like right there.
Yeah, I think so. I can't really see.
I'm
it from
trying
here.
to find, like I just typed in.
Like the original ones that I had were like in the bigger book form too, so they're like graphic novel style more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I'll know what it is when I find it.
So, okay, middle of the screen, left,
Over here,
up one more over to the right.
this one.
Click that one.
All right.
So pull that on. That's out of one of those comics that I used to have, so they
Okay,
could see
okay.
at home what they look like.
Bring it up real quick.
Yeah. So this is how they used to look like when I first was starting to read this shit. Like when there wasn't anything else out. There's no cartoon out. None of that.
That's fucking
Yeah,
tight.
pretty
dude.
cool, dude.
That's badass.
A little bit more ninja-y that way too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they're all uniformed,
Yeah.
right? Like so.
You just
no,
had to know what weapon they were holding.
Yup, and no identifying marks is.
I
what
mean, it
is,
makes
like, what
more
I was
sense
like.
by having a different mask because it's easier for people to follow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the comic, you're only going one picture at a time, so they can plan it.
It's easier
you
for kids to follow.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like if there was like a picture where they didn't have a weapon, they'd be like, "Hey, Donatello, blah blah blah." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool. It was cool. I liked it. The good old days.
See if we can find. See if we can just find it. Like I want to see if I can.
Which one are you looking for now? That cover?
The same one. Just because
That's
it's
the old one too that you were hovering on. That was in
this
those-
one here.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But at least now you get to see it because we've actually brought that up a few times and we never had a example for you.
Oh no, I know what the original ones look. I've
Oh,
done
okay.
a lot of research on the Ninja Turtles. I
I spent hours.
for sure. Yeah. watching fucking shows and bullshit. So I'm kind of just trying to find this for like nostalgia's sake. Like I really have no idea even what it was called or what generation it was like spun off from or what. But I mean, it was definitely the early '90s when I got it. I got it from a buddy, and like I didn't buy it brand new. You know what I mean? So it was like one of those comics you get that like had some wear on it. You're like, oh, this thing's been fucking read a couple of times, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I wish I had mine like right at hand. They're actually in the same room, but.
Not very easy to get to.
Not as easy to get to.
Not as easy to get to. And
Not as fast as I got that other set at Ear Pro. That was like fast, right? Like,
yeah.
I was like, I'll be right back. You're like, what? And then I'm already back.
Yeah. Here they are. Yeah, it was almost like this, but he had the red, but it was like angled, and he had the bandana on, but it was like almost that same style with big teeth, lots of teeth.
Yeah. I missed the older style Ninja Turtles. The new ones, they're still cool. They're still the same thing. I just something about that old style that like I liked better.
Yeah,
they're a little bit more like adulty, a little bit more. And then like I said, I did get into the cartoon spin-off of their comic from Marvel. Like I did read those and I enjoyed those, but I did like that original one that we just showed with the red mask. Like that was my favorite.
I can dig it. Like I mean, if I'm being 100% honest, like yeah, of course I got into them when the cartoon was
sure.
there.
Oh, of course. I mean that's what almost everyone.
Yeah, and that's like that was my jam.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, see, there's the original Ninja Turtle. We've showed that before. The fucking
when he was first
cocktail napkin.
The
drawing.
concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing too. Like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a bunch of turtles, ninjas. Like,
and he's like, run it, I guess. Yeah. Like, and the guy's like, I'm sure you will, bud. I'm sure you will. And then it turns out to be like one of the most. Yeah. See, these are my guys right here. That's what I.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
I'll just show that.
Yeah. That's like your stereotypical like cartoon.
Yeah. That's like that's what I remember.
What was cool is that the comic book that kind of was that same kind of universe version of him or whatever. They were like that, but a little less kiddie. A little less, just barely less. Just a little less. But that was definitely the way the cartoon.
I almost got fucking half the mind to get that fucking.
Oh, there's the Raph in the cartoon itself, right above. See with the red.
Right here.
Yeah.
The coat. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking for a specific cover.
And there's the original toys right there. I had them all.
Oh my god, I never had all four at the same time.
Oh yeah.
I was part of the Ninja Turtle fan club though.
Nice.
I got a fucking like a snapback trucker hat and like a bandana.
Fuck, dude, I wish you had that.
If I still had that shit, it'd be fucking because that was straight up. Yeah, that had to be in like 89 to 91.
Yeah,
like,
somewhere in there. Yeah.
Fucking long time ago, dude. These guys aren't even holding their fucking weapons, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's probably just a collector didn't even have all that shit.
Brutal.
But yeah.
That's
pretty cool
sweet to see them like that. Yeah, it is.
See, we got to nerd out. Like Ian was watching the podcast or the live stream, and he's all, I was watching. You guys were talking about comics, and you started talking politics, and then you came back to like comics or some shit.
We're all over the place,
like,
bro.
We're gonna talk about whatever's relevant.
We're gonna talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Exactly.
It's our goddamn show.
Keep practicing right below.
Yeah,
I gotta pull it up.
Yeah, pull that one up.
Yeah, we didn't do a movie representation.
Keep practicing.
Yeah, that movie is so legit, bro.
The first one is dark as fuck, dude. For being a Turtles
there's
movie.
a meme out there somewhere, and it was like when all these new CGI, all this new technology comes out, and you realize that the original Ninja Turtles still looked more real than
this.
Yeah, look at this shit. Pull this garbage up. What the fuck is this?
So I've tried my best to take my philosophy and my appreciation of Batman over to the Ninja Turtles, where I'm gonna say, just because these are the turtles that you grew up with and they're not the same turtles that I grew up with.
Yeah, there's always gonna be different variations as time goes by, right?
Doesn't mean they can't be fucking your badass Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But
even though they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't like this version of them as much. I still watched it.
I did too. I didn't see the second one. This is probably the second one, right?
No, this is the first one.
Oh, okay. I only saw it once, and I was like,
This is when they're fucking beatboxing the elevator, and they go out to fight Shredder, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
We had that playing at work, and I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, there was a couple parts that were cool in the movie, but like, I mean, just the way they look. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't like.
Look at like Michelangelo looks like a fucking Look at him. Look at his face.
Yeah.
Like, what in the fuck?
Well, I think they tried to match them too much to their voice actors. I think.
But they're turtles, so you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, give them a fucking beak like they're supposed to have, dude. Like, what the fuck? The original Ninja Turtles
end up looking like Shrek with a mask is what they end up looking like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Some bullshit.
I'm irritated.
Some fucking bull. That's a cool. That looks like a toy of one of the original Turtles. That's fucking tight.
Like maybe someone made that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Or it could be a newer one too. I don't know. I know they have newer
maybe they
runs,
released it or something.
Yeah.
That's
but that one looks pretty cool because
that's-
it looks more like the original one that I was talking about.
Exactly. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't find the fucking.
Yeah, you're not gonna find it. You'd
I
have to know
probably
what
not.
it was, like
Yeah.
what number or something.
I know. I was hoping, like, by chance. Oh, it's the first one. Like,
I haven't
you know
even
what I mean?
seen one cover that I've
That is familiar
Yeah.
to you, even. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's all right.
These are all like newer versions or old ones too. A couple of them.
It is what it is.
And then they'll recover them too. That's what happens a lot of times too. They'll be the same comic, but they'll recover them because they're putting them out in like 5 issues or 12 issues or whatever, and they'll put them out.
Okay.
They do that too.
Kenny says that was from the 2000 series.
Of the toy, right?
I think the toy.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
So that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
that was pretty cool. That actually looked better.
Yeah.
So
That was pretty tight.
some
Throwback. Nice little throwback. Cool. Well, we got to start a fucking show here in a minute.
Yeah,
You want to go ahead and call this a day on
Yeah.
this bad boy, and then we'll get strapping to the
Get
next
some
one?
prep for that. Yeah,
Cool.
sure.
All right,
All right,
folks.
guys.
That was it. Make sure you guys hit us up on all of our various social medias. You're already listening to us here on YouTube, so please go over to the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, the SoundCloud, the Pornhub, the Patreon, and the Spotify. If you have Spotify Premium, you can listen to us on the go, or you can download our MP3s directly from SoundCloud if you don't want to pay premium service.
Merch is down in the description.
Yep, that's all right. And if you're
Yeah.
just listening, that's shop.spreadshirt.com /
And I'm gonna give a quick
86.
little shout out to Chris, and I'm also gonna say I'm not saying that you're wrong, but it's not don't trust your leaders. It's don't follow your leaders.
There it is. Okay, folks, we'll see you guys again next time, and we
Disobey next Monday.
will be out probably tomorrow with our next
Yeah.
episode. So
Yep.
we'll see how that goes.
The old podcast number 40.
Catch you guys later.